Welcome back to this series. I know it's been a long time since I last talked about presidential elections in American history, but don't worry, I have not canceled it, and we're going to continue with the election of 1840. Martin Van Buren and William Henry Harrison faced off, and the Whigs, who apparently remembered their disastrous strategy of running three candidates, only ran one this time. Martin Van Buren was a very unpopular president at the time. He was inaugurated with a lot of hype because he was Andrew Jackson's successor, and he was handpicked by Jackson. Jackson endorsed him and really seemed to like Van Buren overall. However, soon after Van Buren took office, the Panic of 1837 hit, which is a little bit similar to the Great Depression. Now, it wasn't entirely Van Buren's fault. In fact, it was kind of Andrew Jackson's fault, but he really didn't take any blame for it because people weren't educated enough to understand that it was Jackson's policies that caused the horrible depression, not Van Buren. But anyways, Van Buren became a scapegoat for the horrible economic times, and his approval rating plummeted. However, he was easily renominated by his party, the Democrats, who had now been around for nearly 20 years. Guess what? Nobody was nominated as their vice president. Yep. Oh, are you wondering what happened to Richard M. Johnson? Sorry, I couldn't get that. To Richard M. Johnson? Well, he just wasn't vice president anymore, so they didn't really nominate anyone. The Whigs nominated former war hero and senator from Ohio, William Henry Harrison. Again, as I mentioned, they had remembered their disastrous strategy of nominating three people back in 1836. So this time they only ran one, William Henry Harrison. They chose John Tyler, a senator from Virginia, as his running mate, mostly to balance out the ticket because Harrison was a northerner from Ohio who was pretty anti-slavery, whereas John Tyler was the pro-slavery dude from Virginia. Well, the anti-Masonic party had collapsed, but most of their members went to the Whig party, so I guess that's good news for the Whigs. There was a third-party candidate, the philanthropist James G. Burnie ran for the Liberty Party, a party that was all about abolishing slavery. He was a journalist from Kentucky, and he wrote for a newspaper based in Cincinnati called The Philanthropist. He chose Thomas Earl, the lawyer from Pennsylvania. There was no picture of Earl, so unfortunately I cannot provide you with his dashing looks. William Henry Harrison won easily. He became the 9th president of the United States, defeating Van Buren and Burnie. Van Buren actually won John Tyler, Harrison's running mate's home state of Virginia, in their 23 electoral votes. He also won parts of the South as well as the Midwest. Well, most of it, anyways. He also won New Hampshire randomly, which is weird, but alright. He lost his home state of New York, and even though it was pretty close by the popular vote, the whole election, the electoral vote was pretty embarrassing for Van Buren. William Henry Harrison became the 9th vice president, and John Tyler became the 10th vice president of the United States. Thank you.